Have you ever been very close to someone, so close that you could tell them everything, call them anytime at night? But now you two only keep each other on your Facebook friends list? The question seems simple, but it hits a very real scratch in many people's hearts. We all have had a friendship like that, so close that it seems like nothing can separate them. That person was the first person you called when you were happy, and the only person who knew how many times you cried over a nameless love story. Someone who was there through the brilliant, unfinished, dreamy days of youth. And then no one was wrong, no one was right. No arguments broke out, no goodbyes, no resentment. It was just time passing. And the silence grew. One day, you accidentally came across an old photo, the two of you hugging, hair messy, laughing until tears flowed next to a birthday cake lit with candles. Or a blurry video of the two of you riding an old motorbike, humming in the rain. Your heart suddenly tightens. You open old messages and realize that it's been 2 years since anyone said anything to anyone. No one unfriended me. No one blocked you, but no one asked, "How are you doing?" That feeling, not a sharp pain, but a quiet, smoldering, lingering sadness, an unspoken regret. Why did anyone teach us how to break up with a close friend? Why do we lose friends? Friendship breakups rarely come with closure. Unlike romantic relationships, there's often no defining argument, no "we need to talk," no conscious decision to part ways. Just a quiet, gradual unraveling, soft, almost invisible, until one day you realize someone who used to be in your life every day is no longer in it at all. But why does this happen? Why do we lose friends who once felt irreplaceable? The reasons aren't always dramatic. In fact, they're often painfully ordinary. But even small cracks left unattended can weaken the strongest bonds over time. We run out of time or stop making it. Adulthood comes with responsibilities, work deadlines, children, family obligations, housework, mental fatigue. Life gets busy and time becomes a luxury. That 30-minute phone call every evening turns into a voice note. Let's catch up later. Later comes next week. The next month, the never. You keep meaning to message them. You think of them while scrolling past a meme they love. You remember their birthday but forget to text until midnight and then feel too guilty to text at all. It's not that you stopped caring. You just stopped showing it. And friendship, like any living thing, can't survive without being fed. If we don't water the connection, it quietly withers away. Unspoken expectations. One of the quietest killers of friendship is silent resentment. You were always the one to text first. You planned the meets. You remembered the birthdays. And for a while, you didn't mind. That was just your dynamic. But over time, a voice inside starts to whisper, "Why am I always the one trying? Do they even care as much as I do?" You tell yourself not to overthink it, but the hurt accumulates drop by drop until it turns into distance. Sometimes, both friends are silently waiting for the other to reach out, each assuming the other has stopped caring, each waiting for a message that never comes. Eventually, the silence becomes too long to break comfortably, and the friendship slips into the past without a single word. We grow but not together. Change is inevitable. But not all friendships can survive it. You become a parent. They move abroad. You go to therapy. They avoid emotions. You embrace a slower lifestyle. They crave constant stimulation. We're all evolving all the time, but not always in the same direction. And when two people grow apart emotionally, even if they still love each other, the connection can begin to fray. Conversations feel more strained. Interests no longer align. What used to feel effortless begins to require effort. And soon you find yourself wondering, did we run out of things to talk about, or just stop trying to find new things to say? Losing a friend this way doesn't mean anyone did anything wrong. Sometimes it just means your lives are no longer walking side by side, and neither of you knows how to close the gap. We don't know how to maintain adult friendships. No one teaches us how to nurture friendship once life becomes full of noise. As children, proximity did the work for us. You made friends at school, on your street, through shared routines. in adulthood, that automatic closeness disappears. And without intentional effort, relationships fade. Adult friendships require scheduling, communication, vulnerability, grace. They demand time we often don't feel we have, and emotional space we don't always prioritize. Without those things, even the best connections can slowly dim. We assume the door is always open. Another reason friendships fade, we assume they won't. We assume that person will always be there, just a text away. We assume we can catch up soon, without realizing that soon can stretch into years. We assume that what once was strong doesn't need attention to stay that way. But like any relationship, friendship needs presence. It needs care. It needs us to show up not just when it's convenient, but also when it's not. A gentle reminder. Losing a friend doesn't always come with anger. Sometimes it just comes with a dull ache, a quiet sadness you can't explain. You still wish them well. You still smile at old memories. But you're not part of each other's lives anymore, and that stings. But it also teaches you something precious. Friendship is not just about shared history. It's about shared effort, continued presence, and mutual growth. So what can we do? If you've lost a friend you miss, consider reaching out. Sometimes one message is all it takes to restart a conversation that never truly wanted to end. If you feel a friendship slipping, speak up. Say, I miss us. Say, life has been crazy, but you matter. Don't wait until it's too late. And if a friendship has run its course, let it go gently with gratitude. Some people aren't meant to stay forever, but their chapter in your story will always matter. You don't have to end every friendship with a conversation, but you can end it with love. Let go or hold on, when to move on, when to return. Not every friendship is meant to last forever. Some are beautifully complete in their own time, a perfect fit for who you were at a certain age, in a certain season of life. They gave you laughter when you needed lightness, late night phone calls when the world felt too heavy, and the kind of companionship that made you feel seen. But people grow, priorities shift, wounds form, and sometimes, no matter how hard you try, holding on only leads to pain. When a friendship begins to feel more like an obligation than a joy, when you walk away from every conversation feeling small, misunderstood, or like you're never quite enough, letting go is not giving up. It's an act of self-respect. A quiet but powerful way of saying, I still care about you, but I care about my peace more. Letting go doesn't have to be angry. It doesn't mean the love wasn't real. It just means that the version of you that once belonged in that connection no longer fits. It means acknowledging the chapter has ended and closing the book gently with gratitude. But not all friendships are meant to end. Some people are not gone, they're just paused. You may not have spoken in years. Maybe life got busy or paths diverged without intention. Maybe you both simply drifted, assuming the other was too busy or too different now. But one message, just a simple, "Hey, how have you been?" could bring the whole bridge back to life. There are friendships that defy time. The kind where months or even years of silence can disappear in seconds. Where the conversation picks up right where it left off, like no time has passed at all. Where the shared history is deep enough, kind enough, real enough to anchor you both through life's detours. So how do you know which is which? When do you hold on, and when do you let go? Let go when the friendship consistently drains more than it gives. Let go when you feel like you're shrinking to stay in it, or when the connection is built on obligation, guilt, or fear of change. Let go when your values, needs, or sense of self are compromised just to keep the peace, or when you no longer recognize who you are when you're around them. Letting go doesn't mean you're cruel or cold-hearted. It means you're making space for healthier dynamics, for deeper self-worth, for the kind of love and connection you deserve. But hold on when the distance was circumstantial, not emotional. Hold on when you still think of them with softness, not bitterness. Hold on when you miss them for who they are, not just the memories. Hold on when you believe a conversation could repair what was lost, and when you still feel safe, valued, and real in their presence. Sometimes all a friendship needs is effort. A call, a conversation, a willingness to say, "I've missed you. I don't know what happened, but I'd like to find our way back." Don't underestimate the power of reaching out. Some friendships end not because the bond was broken, but because both people thought the other had already let go. There's no roadmap for friendship, no rulebook that says when to walk away or when to fight for what once was. But this much is true. If thinking of someone still brings warmth to your chest instead of a weight to your shoulders, maybe it's not over. Maybe it's just waiting. Maybe all it needs is a hand extended, a message sent, a little reminder that love of any kind is always worth the risk. And if you choose to let go, do so with love. Not every bond is meant to last, but every true connection leaves a part of itself inside you. Carry that with grace, and move forward knowing you honored it well. Friendship doesn't need to be perfect, just true. You don't need a crowd of friends to feel loved or validated. You don't need 10 people constantly texting you, tagging you, or showing up in stories to prove that you matter. You only need a few, the rare ones. The ones who make you feel like you can be your full, unfiltered self. The ones who listen without judgment, support without condition, and never make you feel like you have to earn your place in their life. True friendship isn't always loud or sparkly. It doesn't have to come with constant updates, grand gestures, or perfectly timed catch-ups. Sometimes real friendship is quiet. It's a presence in the background, a steady kind of warmth. It's the comfort of knowing that even if weeks or months pass without talking, the bond is still there. The respect is still mutual. The love has not faded. In the real world, our adult world, people get busy. Responsibilities multiply. Jobs demand more. Families grow. Energy wanes. Some days, even texting back feels like climbing a mountain. And that's okay. Growing older doesn't mean outgrowing people. It means learning to love them through the distance, through the silence, through all the life that happens in between. The beauty of true friendship is that it doesn't demand constant proof. It trusts. It forgives the unanswered messages, the missed birthdays, the long pauses. Because underneath all of that is a quiet understanding. I'm still here. I still care. You don't need to be in each other's daily life to matter deeply to one another. What counts is that there's still a space in your heart reserved for them. Maybe it's a photo that makes you smile, a song that reminds you of a shared memory, or a moment in your day when you think, they love this. That soft remembering, that gentle holding of each other in spirit, is its own kind of love. Friendship, at its core, isn't about how often you talk. It's about how deeply you're understood. It's about having people in your life who've seen you at your messiest, your most uncertain, and your most lost and didn't walk away. It's about those few souls who don't just show up for your best days, but stay through your worst. So if you have even one or two of those people, those who let you be real, raw, and human, hold on to them, check in when you can. Forgive each other for the silence. Celebrate the little returns. And know that the connection is not weakened by time, it's strengthened by grace. In a world that pushes us toward performative friendships and superficial connection, choose the real ones, the quiet, steady, imperfect, deeply rooted ones. The ones that don't always need to be fed, but always live in the soil of mutual respect and care. Because at the end of the day, friendship isn't about being constantly present. It's about being emotionally available when it matters most. And sometimes that's more than enough. Conclusion. Some friendships were once everything, your safe space, your second home, your chosen family, and then quietly faded into the background. Not because the love disappeared, but because neither of you knew how to hold on through life's changes. These friendships don't always end with a bang. Sometimes they just dissolve into silence. But even in their quiet ending, they leave behind a soft, aching space in your heart. And if time has taught us anything, it's this. Friendship doesn't need to be perfect, it only needs to be real. Even if distance has crept in, even if months or years have passed without a word, if there's still a tender place in your heart for someone, then the connection hasn't truly died. So, if you find yourself missing someone, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't overthink the silence. Just reach out. A simple message like, "I thought of you today," might be all it takes to reopen a door you thought was closed for good. And if someone once dear to you has walked a different path and no longer fits in your current life, let them go with grace. Not every person is meant to stay forever. Some are meant to be chapters, not the whole story, and that's okay. Whether you choose to hold on or let go, do it with kindness. In a world full of noise and temporary connections, the rare, soul-deep friendships, whether they lasted a season or a lifetime, are always worth remembering. Because at the end of the day, friendship is not measured by how often you talk, but by how deeply you've been seen. Not by constant presence, but by emotional availability when it mattered most. And sometimes that kind of love is more than enough. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.